Let us recall the definition of a topological space. Let X be a non-empty set and tau be a collection of subsets of X. That is, it's a part of our set of X. Now tau satisfies three axioms. First one is given by empty set as well as the full set is always available in our collection tau. Secondly, tau is closed under arbitrary unions. Finally, it is closed under finite intersections. Second axiom actually says the following. If you take any collection U alpha, alpha is working in some indexing sec lambda, which means U alphas are all in tau for every alpha in lambda, then you perform the union of these U alphas, alpha is working in the indexing set, that also is inside tau. So it never goes out of arbitrary unions, taking arbitrary unions. Now, if you have U1, U2, etc. UN, they are finitely many members of tau, then intersection runs from 1 to n, Ui is also going to be inside tau again. Whenever tau satisfies these three conditions, we say that tau defines a topology on X. And X tau in this case, we say that it is a topological space. Once a topological space is defined, members of tau are declared as open sets. So a subset U is said to be open in X provided this U is a member of tau. U belongs to tau. That is how open sets are going to be defined in a topological space. So we will just say that all the members of tau are the open sets of X. Once this notion is given with us, open sets, one can actually give other topological notions too. See, for example, we are in metric spaces and all, we are already familiar with the convergence of sequences and all. So instead of this metric specification and all, once you are working with a topological space X tau, one can just mimic the notion of convergence of a sequence as follows. That is, Xn is a sequence of sequence in X. Then Xn is said to converge to X in X provided you take any open set U containing X, then after a certain finite stage, every member of every Xn is going to be inside this U. To say that Xn converges to X whenever or if there exists a natural number k in N, you will be able to find the natural number k in N such that all the Xn's are going to be inside U for every n greater than or equal to k. So for every open set U, once it happens, one can say or give the notion of convergence of sequences in a general topological space. Some examples we will look at. Any X is given with us and we are always equipped with the full power set of X, which I can write it as tau, then it clearly satisfies all the three conditions. So X with this tau is going to be a topological space. It's a trivial topology in some sense. So X with this topology is usually called as the discrete topology on X. So in a discrete topology, all subsets of X are open sets because every member is available there. Any unions or arbitrary unions, even finite intersection, everything, every possibilities are again inside tau. So there is a discrete topology, and obviously another atomic collection is also available with us. With the given X, one can also think about tau, which consists of empty set as well as the full set only. So this collection is also indeed a topology on X, and that topology is called a discrete topology on X, given set X. So these two collections, I mean, depending on the full power set of X or the most atomic power set of X which satisfies the minimum axioms, are in some sense trivial. Also, one can define cofinite topology in general. To define cofinite topology, cofinite stands for complement finite. So with a given X, one can think about tau consisting of all the subsets of X, U, such that the complement of U, that is X minus U, is finite. With this, one can add empty set also. So this collection satisfies again the conditions and can verify it. So that defines a topology. That topology is usually called as cofinite topology on X. So these are topologies one can just think about in any non-empty set. And the next question is, since the convergence also is discussed already, one can think about how the sequential convergence has to say about the discrete topology, indiscrete topology, cofinite topology, etc. So one has all freedom to do that. But before doing that, the most non-trivial examples which comes as topological spaces are obviously the metric spaces. So all metric spaces are indeed topological spaces. How will you see this? It's very natural because start with a metric space xd. So d gives the metric of the distance consists. So which gives you obviously the open ball notion as we have mentioned before. An open ball centered at x and radius r with a positive radius and x is in x. So this is the open ball centered at x with radius r. Now U in the metric space we define open sets in such a way U, a subset of X, is said to be open provided for every X in U, if it is possible to find at least one open ball containing that X with some positive radius, then this is true for all X in U. Such a U is called open sets in a metric space. So simply take all such U's, which means you look at the collection U, subset of X, such that U is open with respect to the metric, I can say, with respect to the metric D. So D induces the ball notion. Using that ball notion, open sets can be defined. Naturally, one can take the collection of subsets as open sets like that. So that topology is called the induced topology coming from the metric D. So it's a metric topology. This X D in turn gives you a topology X with this tau. So that is what is called as a metric topology on X. So all metric spaces are indeed topological spaces. So naturally the reverse question is also there. Given with an arbitrary topological space, can you give a metric which induces the topology on that? Whenever such a situation is possible, we say that topology is metrizable. Such questions one can think about any spaces, in any topological spaces, but more specifically, one can think about metric space Rn. Rn means R1 or R2 or R, in general Rn n greater than equal to 1. All Euclidean spaces, they are all metric spaces with the Pythagorean metric. Very natural metric is available there. So that metric gives you or induces a topology on Rn, and we call that such a topology is the standard topology on Rn. Remember, in Rn we define the distance between x and y, the metric, natural metric, usually called D2 metric in analysis. This is defined through sigma of modulus xi minus yi squares, and you have to look for the positive square root of this thing over the summation of 1 to n. One can see that you might have been already seen analysis course that this is a metric, Euclidean or Pythagorean metric, and this metric and the induced topology coming out of that is what is the standard topology on R. At least in R2, which is we are very much familiar with that. But there are obviously another metrics are also available there. So many other metrics are also available there on Rn. In fact, at least it is better to mention two metrics. I may call it as D1 of xy. D1 of xy is simply the notation wise, if you can write sigma xi minus modulus xi minus yi runs over 1 to n. Instead of these 2 and 1 by 2, you are giving 1 and 1 by 1. That's all. So one can see that this is also a metric and it induces a topology. And another metric is also useful for us is d infinity or d maximum matrix or supremum metric. So many ways we used to call, which is given by the maximum of you have to look at xi minus yi's. I runs from 1, 2, 3 up to n. So this is another metric again gives the thing. So these are some metrics, at least one can try with the Rn, but whenever we are saying Rn with usual topology or standard topology, we will consider the Pythagorean metric only. But it's a good exercise to look at the geometry of the open balls with respect to all these, at least d1, d2 as well as d infinity. We can work with R2 and you will get a nice geometrical picture about that. Okay, so before moving to generalities, one can just visit discrete spaces as well as indiscrete spaces. They are in some sense trivial topological spaces. In the discrete topological space or a discrete space, in fact, they are metrizable. It comes, this discrete topology is coming from the discrete metric. How the discrete metric is defined? One can define in the following way. Any set X is given, just define D on X as dxy is going to be 0 if X and Y are same. Otherwise, just give any non-negative real number. See, 1 I can write if X is not equal to Y. So if X differing from Y, just give 1, otherwise it gives 0. This gives a metric, and this metric induces a topology on X, and one can see that this is what the discrete topology is coming up. So discrete spaces are induced by the discrete metric. One can change, as I said, 1 to any lambda positive. So one can think about the convergence also. See, in discrete spaces, all subsets are going to be open. All subsets are inside the topological space, discrete topological space too. So even singletons, if you are taking, just take any member x in your x or x naught in x, that itself is going to be open. So about convergence, if a sequence xn is converging to a point x naught here, which means since this x naught is also an open set, all but a finitely many terms are always to be aligned with x naught, which means it should be exactly equal to x naught. So it implies xn converges to x naught in a discrete space, then that sequence must be ultimately constant. It's after a certain stage every term should be the same x naught. Otherwise, it's not going to converge that. It's an if and only if condition. So it can be characterized. The convergence can be characterized with respect to this topology. One can think about indiscrete space also, but what you can see is in the indiscrete space, X with indiscrete topology means only in tau you are having only empty set as well as the full set as members. But one can sit and see that no metric is available to make it metrizable. Even it is not pseudo metrizable. That one can look at in the exercises also. Now, for an arbitrary set X, one can also define cofinite topology generally. So if a given set X, one can think about tau, which consisting of all subsets of X, so that the complement is finite. Cofinite stands for the complement is finite. That is X minus U you look at, and if it is finite, we can call this a cofinite set and take our collection of cofinite sets and also include empty sets. This collection, once again, one can verify that is a topology. It defines a topology which is called the cofinite topology on X. So X with tau is the cofinite topology. So these are the standard examples, but one can look at more examples from the text, Joshi, and about some generalities about topologies are also available because X is the given set. enough topologies can be defined on X depending on the cardinality of X. So on the same set X, suppose tau1 as well as tau2 are two topologies on X, which means open sets with respect to tau1 is available, open subsets with respect to tau2 also is available. Then one can think about comparison. If it happens that tau1 subset of tau2, which means if U is available in tau1, then it implies that that U is always inside tau2. We say that the tau2 is finer than tau1. This collection tau2 is finer or stronger topology than tau1 on X. On the other hand, tau1 is weaker than tau2, you can say, or major than tau2, you can say. These terminologies, one can use it whenever comparisons are available. So obviously, discrete topology is the topmost level. It is going to be the strongest topology always on a given set, and in discrete topology is going to be the weakest topology. There are obvious notions about that. Some topologies can be comparable, otherwise some may not be possible. It is possible to compare also. So among collections, one can again think about, see, we are looking at a topological space X tau. Tau is a part of power set of X. So it's a subfamily of power set of X. In set theory, taking unions in intersection, complementations, all such things are the natural way of defining new sets out of the given ones. So about collection also some generalities we can think about. Suppose the given set X, we have tau1 and tau2. Two topologies are defined on X. One can just think about what will happen for tau1 union tau2 and tau intersection tau2, because these are all again going to be subsets of X, and one can check whether they satisfy or they will give you a natural topology or not. But what one can easily see that union is not going to be behaving well, but intersections are going to be behaving well. So what I wanted to say is this: suppose we are given with a set X. On this X, we have so many topologies. For example, tau alpha is a collection of topologies now. They are all topologies for alphas in some indexing set. Then one can actually prove that take intersection of all these tau alphas. It is going to define a topology on X. In fact, one can easily see that this topology is going to be weaker than each tau alpha. So such a tau is indeed going to be a topology only defines. Intersections of topologies on X is again going to be a topology on X. This is weaker than each tau alpha. If you are starting with any such topology U, then this is going to be the strongest one. So this kind of facts allow us the following also. Suppose X is a given set, and if you are just starting with any subcollection of power set of X, X is the given set, D is just a part of power set of X. It may not be a topology, but always one can think about a topology, I mean a smallest topology, which contains D. So containing D, one can think about a topology which is going to be the smallest topology containing D. Can be always thought of because of the previous fact. First, just to take the collections of all topologies which consist of D. It's a non-empty collection. Obviously, the discrete topologies are available. You can do the usual way of arguments, and one can think. One can just come up with a topology. It is the smallest topology containing all the members of D. That topology is going to be the smallest topology generated by D. We call that it is the smallest topology generated by this collection D. D itself is a topology, means that itself, nothing more you are going to get. Otherwise, you will get a topology appropriately.